So I've had my 2021 Kawasaki KLX300 for about a month and a half now. Hit about 600 miles over the weekend, so it's time to do the first service, the oil and filter change, and tighten up all the bolts and everything. So I washed it today as I get ready for the oil change, and figured I'd do a quick video for you discussing the things that I like about the bike and at least one thing that I don't like. So here we go. So the highlight of this bike, especially for the money, is, of course, like I've said before, is the suspension. The suspension is just so much better than the two CRF 250Ls that I had. I put about 20,000 miles on those bikes, so I definitely got to know them inside and out, and I liked the bikes. The fit and finish was amazing. The smoothness of the motor and tranny and the whole drivetrain was typical Honda. The thing that let those bikes down for me was the suspension. It was just way too soft for me and bottomed out way too easily. So that was one of the major reasons I chose this bike over the new Honda CRF 300L. I've been waiting to see, and the videos have just started coming out. A lot of reviews of that bike as it's finally released to the public. And unfortunately, although the suspension has been improved a little bit, it's still way too soft for someone like me, 210 pounds. So the suspension on this bike is just, it's just such higher quality than the Honda CRF 250Ls I had. So much firmer and so much more suited for my weight. And it just doesn't bottom out no matter how hard I ride the bike. So that's definitely the thing about the bike that I like the most so far. Another thing that I really like about this bike is how Kawasaki paid so much attention to detail. You can see the guard that they put on the front brake line here to protect it from rocks, branches, etc. And then if you look at the rear brake, there's this amazing brake guard here to protect it from damage if you wipe out or go down or hit a rock or anything. That's just not something you would normally see on a bike in this price range. I really like those little things. If you look at the wheels, they're Excel rims. Obviously Excel, if you ride motocross or off-road at all, you'll quickly learn that Excel makes the best rims in the industry. And a bike in this price range to come with Excel wheels is a pretty awesome thing. Another thing I really like about this bike is just the overall fit and finish, the quality of the welds, just the way everything was put together. See the welds down here. This bike is made in Thailand, like so many of the Hondas are now. And the overall quality of the build on this bike and the two CRF 250Ls that I had that were built in Thailand is very, very high. I'm really, really impressed. The bike runs and shifts flawlessly. I don't have any issues with it. As far as the motor goes, it's not fast, but I don't need something crazy fast at this time in my life, especially for the kind of relaxed riding that I do. Mostly cruising dirt roads, gravel roads, forest roads that aren't too difficult. You wouldn't call the motor thrilling at all. It doesn't have a whole lot of snap. It's pretty linear all the way up to the red line, but it runs really, really well, shifts well. I really like the ergonomics of the bike. I'm 6'1", 210 pounds. Fits me really well. The reach to the bars, to the pegs. It's very comfortable for cruising, the ergonomics of the bike. But that does bring me to the one negative issue, the one complaint that I have about this bike. And I should put an asterisk on this complaint because it could be related to just my age. There's a bit of buzz that comes through the bars and the pegs and the seat, especially at cruising speeds. So if you're cruising 55, 60 miles per hour down country roads, there's enough buzz that comes through the bars and the seat, especially to make your hands a bit numb. That's one way the CRF 250Ls that I had beat this bike, and that would be the smoothness of the motor and the overall drivetrain. Definitely less vibration and buzz came through the handlebars and the seat on those bikes. On the other hand, this bike has such superior suspension that more than makes up for that one negative issue. So I guess that's the only complaint that I really have at this time about this bike after a month and a half of ownership, about 600 miles of riding. Is there's a little bit more vibration than I really like. That could go away as the bike breaks in. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted on that. Be curious to see if that goes away over time as the whole drivetrain breaks in. I've only got 600 miles on it, so it's obviously not completely broken yet, so I'll keep you posted. I do really like the clear lenses and the turn signals, both front and rear. Nice little visual touch on this bike. I almost forgot to mention there is one other very, very minor complaint that I have that could easily be fixed by installing a fender eliminator kit, and I'm looking at the Yoshimura because that kit looks like it's really high quality for the money and very easy to install. But there's a bit of a noise back here when you go over bumps. Let me see if I can show it to you. Can hear that little clicking sound as you go over bumps on this bike. The whole tail assembly makes that noise. You can definitely hear that while you're riding, and that will easily be fixed if I break down and spend the money on a fender eliminator kit. Very minor issue. One other final thing I should mention is that regarding the vibration, this bike has fairly aggressive Dunlop D605s on it, and so the tires themselves could be producing a little bit of that buzz that I'm feeling. I think that once these tires wear out, I'll probably switch to something slightly less aggressive, since at my age I'm not doing a ton of aggressive riding anymore. I'm doing some, much more cruising on country roads and dirt roads and forest roads than I am gnarly single track or anything, so I don't really have a need for a super aggressive tire, and I have a feeling once I switch to a less aggressive tire, that itself will take care of a bit of that buzz that I'm feeling. So I guess that's about it for now. I'm going to get the bike warmed up and change the oil and filter, get started on that 600-mile service. I guess I should say that all singles have a certain amount of vibration. I don't know that this one is, excessively worse than any of the other singles that I've had over the years. It probably isn't. Like I said, it could be related to my age, and I'm just getting more and more sensitive to that particular issue. More and more focused on comfort as I get older. But that's it for now. That's my 600-mile review of my new bike. Thanks for watching.